going nuts. Probably. Hey guys, what's up? It's Sanchika. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? How is results for you? Let me know. As promised, this is the A-level tips video that I came up with. Basically how to get through it relatively... No, I won't say that. I was gonna say relatively unscathed. But you're gonna get scathed either way, so just... This is how to get through it less scathed than you would otherwise. Okay, so I put together advice and suggestions from everyone. By everyone I mean my friends, my parents and me. So enjoy, and there are some which are in common, so I won't repeat those again and again, obviously. The first advice that will come is from my friends who sent in videos because I thought it'd be actually a fun idea for people to film themselves and for you guys not to have to see my face constantly because you will get bored otherwise. But not a lot of people are comfortable with that. Sometimes they get camera shy or whatever, so I have a bunch of people who sent in stuff by text, but I have two of my friends who are willing to film themselves and have me edit it in, so enjoy that. Yay!
Hey guys, my name is Deepika and I did my A-levels in Feb-March 2020. So if you want to ace your A-levels, I have 3 suggestions for you. First, it begins from subject decision. Make sure you like the subjects you're selecting and make sure you've gone through the syllabus. Secondly, make sure you score well in AS level so that you have a good foundation. This is your 11th standard. And thirdly, so A-levels has 10 times the content that IGCSE has. So I'd suggest you make your own concise notes and do it as in when you're taught a chapter at school, because that's when you have the time. So when you're taught the chapter, make sure you study through your textbook, online notes, whatever you have, and attempt a few topical papers which you'll get on Exammate or GCE guide, and based on that you can see which concepts are strong and which aren't and make your own notes. So before your boards, all you have to do is go through your notes and solve more papers for practice and build your own confidence, and you will be set, and that is the easiest way to go through it. I can guarantee that. And also always remember that it's not about the quantity you put in but the quality, especially for physics and math. Make sure you understand each question you're solving rather than trying to solve many questions. Yeah.
My suggestions along with the ones in common. So let's start with that. Now I'm going to be reading off my laptop because that's where I made the note. Okay, let's go. English. Your most powerful tool is practice. Now, A-levels is a board where the past papers are very easily available online. Print them or whatever, download them and do them. They are going to be your guide, your lifeline, your best friend for this subject. I'm not even kidding. When you practice, once you write a piece, give it to your teacher. No matter how bad you think it is, give it to your teacher because they are the best judges for what is going on. And sometimes you might think that you've written a shitty, horrible piece, but they might love it and they know best when it comes to grading and the board. Just submit it to them and they can correct it. Oh, and plus point, if you give them a lot of practice and papers, it shows them that you're interested in the subject and you want to do well, and always helps when you have a good rapport with your teacher. Read past exemplary answers. Don't follow them to the T, obviously, because that's someone else's writing style. What you do is you take notes, overall notes, and some of them maybe you can integrate them into your writing, maybe you can't. It doesn't matter, it's okay. As long as you know that this is what people did before. Some of it may work for you, some of it may not, so just check it out anyway. For math, I don't know why I'm saying this again and again and why I put it all, for different subjects. But again, math, practice. It's literally your best friend. And yeah, you will need it, trust me. Just practice, please. Physics. If you take physics at the AS level, then you should know that going to the A2 level, it's a huge jump. Syllabus wise, difficulty wise, number of chapters wise, everything is a huge jump from AS to A2. So just kind of be prepared for that, and I would actually recommend going through the syllabus and the chapters and stuff before term starts for you. I didn't do that, and that was my biggest mistake. And I guess that's probably one exam that, thank God, I didn't have to give, honestly. That's the only exam that I'm very thankful that I didn't have to give. But of course, I would have preferred to give it and give all of them and get the grades that I deserve than the ones they just decided to give me. Okay, now to general stuff, just about the board in general, okay? If your school offers you the option to take AS and A levels separately, take it. Seriously, just take it. Simply because when you split it up, you have to do only half the syllabus once and the second half later. Don't have to worry about it. If you do badly at the AS levels, you have a second chance to give them again and do better, you know. Just take it, I mean, honestly. Second thing, do well and focus on your AS levels. I had a bunch of people in my class who didn't do that, but just focus on your AS levels because first of all, they're 50% of your grade. So, hello, huge percentage of your grade. Second, if you do well at the AS level, it takes a huge load off of you because you can afford to then screw up just a little bit at the A levels. And I'm saying this knowing that there are some people who have very high conditions, but trust me when I say that just, yeah, you can afford to screw up a little bit in the A levels if you do well at the AS level. Just trust me on this. I'm also saying that because the courses at the A2 level get a lot harder, and it gets a lot harder to score in them. So if you have a good 50% of your grade, then the rest 50% you can afford to just a little bit. You can screw it up a little. This is advice from my friends that I put together. We have Arya. She had, well, other than art, she had taken eco and English in the A levels. I will show her Instagram on the screen as well as link it down below. She says IG to AL is a big jump, so don't be like, yeah, okay, easy shit. Obviously, it's a high level, so just be prepared to have extra difficulty. I'm going nuts. Probably. Okay, this is about eco. I didn't take eco. If you watched my previous video or the one before that, my subjects were English, math, physics and art. This is for all you eco students. Eco A2 is really hard, so you really need to ace it in AS because scoring in A2 is really hard. Make sure you know what is happening or has happened globally in terms of economics. Sure. Okay, next is from another friend of mine. She says time management is super important for English and eco papers. Okay, so personally I never had an issue with time management. For some reason it just never bothered me, but a lot of people did. So this is a very good point. But for any paper, this applies to any subject, whatever you take, time management is key. Practice for English. When you receive feedback, make sure you make changes and improvements and avoid making the same mistakes for your next piece. This will help you improve a lot in a short period of time. Now, next person. This is Manya. She's a friend that I made very recently actually, and she was, I don't know, for some reason we just never became friends before 2020. So she also did get 4 A stars, so I would suggest listening to her advice. Okay, 1, don't procrastinate. Yes, please don't. It's the worst thing you can do. Very often, just an initial push is required to gain good momentum. Okay. 2, be consistent with your study. Absolutely necessary. You can't just cram at the last minute. That's not how A-levels works. Just trust me on this one. 3. Do as many past papers as you can and try timing yourself for as many as you can in an environment that is conducive to writing exams. Like I said, time management. 4. Go beyond the textbook and try to do as much extra reading as possible, as this will reflect in your response for appropriate theory-based subjects. Like English A2, I know they changed the syllabus now, but for what we had, research was everything. Pretty sure this applies to psychology and eco as well, and any humanities subject really, because I didn't take Beyond this, I also went to my parents for some advice because they were the parents of an A-level student, so I thought they'd have some good recommendations for you. 1. They said, make good friends. Now, what I mean by that is, you should have 2 separate sets of friends. 1, people who are with you in the A-level course and whom will give you good advice and opinions and will know what you're dealing with, so will help you deal with it better. You know, like all the friends that I've listed, they just helped me through my A-levels and they have kept me somewhat sane. Not really, but somewhat. And yeah, so you can basically, they're saying is categorize your friends. Now, I had friends in a different board, which was IB, and I would rant at them about A-levels like no tomorrow. They would rant back about IB, but they never really had a way to deal with A-levels because they weren't dealing with it, they were dealing with something else. And obviously, if they needed help with IB, they would go to another IB student. They wouldn't come to me. They would just come to me for emotional support, and that you need that. Of course, you need that. But make friends who are going through the same thing as you and who you trust to give you good advice. 2nd, teachers will teach you what's there in the textbooks, obviously. And sometimes those textbooks don't have everything. So do as much of your own research and reading and learning as possible about every subject, because CIE wants to see your understanding of what's going on and whether you know what you're doing and not just what's written in the textbook. That's not what they're looking for, not really. Sorry, I've not been in the center of the video this entire time. I feel bad. Okay, take breaks. Give your mind some rest. Do something completely unrelated to your course, your subjects. Do something recreational. Give your mind some rest, because second you get refreshed, you will be much better and much more efficient. Yeah, you can do something, you know, like I relied on makeup a lot in my first year. That gave me some much needed space from all the craziness. 4, don't be teacher centric. So, okay, this is something that they saw with me and something that my dad also went through when he was in school. So, basically, with me, if I don't like the teacher, I will stop liking the subject. That's just how it works for me. I relate the teacher to the subject. Now, I had some really bad teachers. Like, I had a really bad teacher with art. I just didn't like him, and he didn't like me back. But the reason I still love art is because, you know, I just love it a lot. But I don't know. For example, physics. If I didn't have a good teacher, then I would hate the subject and never go back to it, honestly. Maybe that's just me, but I think there are a lot of people who deal with this where you relate the subject to the teacher. Don't do that, because sometimes you might have a subject which is super interesting and you might want to even take it as like a career, but then a bad teacher comes along. And last thing, so if you look at social media, people tend to portray the best of themselves in social media. Now, sometimes that will just lower your morale, and that's not good for you. So, my parents suggest don't look at social media unless it's for recreation. Like, don't look at anything related to your course or people in your course, because it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. That's all the advice I have for you, except this one last final piece which is not related to your work at all, but it is very, very important because I learned the hard way. Rely on people in your life. Most people are there to help you. Your parents, your friends, your teachers, they're all available there to help you. If you need to talk, if you need to rant, if you need to just sit and cry with them, do it. Honestly, just do it, because eventually you'll just bounce back better and it'll all just work out. And here's the thing, I got super stressed in my A-levels and I didn't really let anybody know about it because I was always too busy working, and I would just not look away and try to deal with it myself and talk to other people about what was going on in my head enough that I got so stressed that I ended up diabetic, which not fun. Yeah, and also it's okay to take a mental health day once in a while. Now I know what it's like to have a lot of work. Okay, so I know what it's like to be bogged down by a lot of work. Enough again, like I was working from 8 AM to 3 AM and awake at 6 again because I had to go. So once in a while it's okay to take a day off from school, or just even if you go to school, come back and not do anything, lie in bed and watch some Netflix or just sleep, honestly, because otherwise it's like your health is what's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. Your A-levels are only important till you get into college, and then once you get into college, you do well in college, and then it's life. Take some time off when you need it, because that's the most important thing. Take care of yourself, people. Take care of yourselves. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, that is it for today. There we go, laptop shut, put aside. Okay, bye. Much more, how do I say this? Lost my mind there for a little.